Your dog forgets the treats and the little pats you give, but the love you show that stays in their heart forever. Science shows dogs carry powerful emotional memories, and these 10 acts are the ones they secretly hope you'll do, the moments that define how much they truly love you. Number 1. Watch where they need your hand. Most dog owners pet their dog completely wrong. You probably do the head pat, maybe scratch behind the ears. But there's a spot that carries 10 times more emotional significance, and dogs spend their whole lives hoping you'll find it. The chest zone sits right between their front legs, that warm, vulnerable area where their heart beats closest to the surface. When mother dogs comfort their puppies, they focus instinctively on this exact spot. The pressure releases a flood of oxytocin that literally rewires their stress response system. But here's the fascinating part. Research from Duke University found that dogs who receive regular chest pressure petting show 40% lower cortisol levels throughout their entire lives. Not just during contact, permanently. Canine behaviorists estimate only 1 in 20 dog owners ever discover this spot. Your dog has nerve endings there that connect directly to their parasympathetic nervous system. A firm, steady pressure with your full palm. This touch creates what researchers call a security anchor that becomes part of your dog's permanent emotional blueprint. When you press this spot, you're literally writing yourself into their nervous system. The memory doesn't fade with time. It actually strengthens through a process called consolidation, where the brain moves important experiences from temporary to permanent storage. Number 2, how you leave destroys them. You're probably causing psychological damage to your dog every time you leave the house. The University of Bristol discovered that starting 15 minutes before departure, dogs experience anticipatory separation stress. They recognize your leaving pattern, checking your phone repeatedly, changing clothes, gathering belongings. Their heart rate spikes by 40%, stress hormones saturate their system, pupils dilate to maximum width. Most people either sneak out quietly or do dramatic emotional farewells that amplify anxiety. Both approaches cause lasting harm. What your dog desperately needs is a departure protocol, a consistent and boring pattern that signals your guaranteed return. Animal behaviorists recommend something specific, a particular phrase spoken the same way every time, a special toy that appears only when you leave, a treat dispensed in the same location. Through repetition, this protocol creates predictive certainty in your dog's brain. Dogs with established departure protocols show 65% less destructive behavior when alone. They maintain normal eating patterns. They don't develop the stress-related digestive issues that plague anxious dogs. Brain scans show their amygdala, the fear center, remains regulated during owner absence. Without this protocol, dogs spend hours in what behaviorists call hypervigilant state, pacing by doors and windows, muscles locked, unable to rest, waiting for a return they can't predict. The chronic stress damages their cardiovascular system, shortens their lifespan, and fundamentally rewires their personality toward fearfulness. Number 3, the play they're begging for but never receive. You're probably playing with your dog completely wrong, and it's costing them years of mental health. Animal cognition researchers at Purdue University discovered something disturbing. Most dogs never experience what they call authentic play, the type of play that fulfills their biological needs. You throw a ball, they chase it. You repeat this 50 times. Your dog seems happy, but their brain is slowly starving. Ball chasing, tug of war, fetch, these aren't real play. They're conditioned behavior that trigger dopamine. Yes, but they don't activate the neural networks dogs actually need. Real play requires what scientists call role reversal and unpredictability. In wild canine play, roles constantly shift. The chaser becomes the chased. The winner becomes the loser. Power dynamics flip every few seconds. This type of play activates the prefrontal cortex, building problem-solving abilities, emotional regulation, and social intelligence. When you play the same game the same way every day, your dog's brain literally stops growing. MRI scans show the hippocampus, responsible for learning and memory, actually shrinks in dogs who only experience repetitive play. They develop what behaviorists call learned boredom, where play becomes just another task rather than joy. What your dog needs is play that surprises them. Hide and seek, where you actually hide. Chase games where you let them catch you, then you chase them. Tug of war, where you sometimes let them win, sometimes win yourself, sometimes both fall over laughing. Wrestling on the floor, where roles change every moment. The University of Veterinary Medicine Vienna found that dogs who experience authentic play just 10 minutes daily show remarkable changes. Their problem-solving abilities increase by 35%. Their stress resilience improves measurably. They develop better impulse control. They even live longer, with reduced rates of cognitive decline in senior years. But here's what breaks my heart. Most dogs will live their entire lives never experiencing real play with their human. They'll chase balls until their joints fail, wondering why that empty feeling never goes away. Your dog doesn't remember the 10,000 times you threw the ball. They remember the 3 times you played like you meant it, like you were really there, like you were Pac. Number 4, the apology they'll never forget. You've hurt your dog's feelings, and you probably don't even know it. Kyoto University researchers made a breakthrough discovery using thermal imaging cameras. When dogs experience emotional pain from their owner, their body temperature drops in specific areas, the exact same physiological response humans have to social rejection. You stepped on their paw and walked away. You yelled at them for something they didn't understand. You pushed them away when they tried to comfort you. Each moment registered as betrayal in their limbic system. But here's what's remarkable. Dogs are the only species besides humans that accept and understand apologies. A study from the University of London found that dogs can distinguish between accidental harm and intentional harm, and they desperately need acknowledgement when hurt happens. Most owners either ignore the incident, assuming dogs forget quickly, or overcompensate with treats, which confuses rather than heals. What your dog needs is a genuine apology ritual. Get down to their level, make soft eye contact, use a calm, regretful tone. A simple, "I'm sorry, that was my fault," while gently touching them. Research shows dogs process apologies through a combination of tone, body language, and timing. When apologized to within 60 seconds of an incident, dogs show immediate cortisol reduction. Their body language shifts from guarded to open. Tail position lifts. Ears relax forward. But dogs who never receive apologies for repeated hurts develop what behaviorists call learned wariness. They become hesitant around you, always slightly on edge, never fully trusting that safety will last. Your dog doesn't hold grudges, but they do hold memories. An apology doesn't erase what happened, but it teaches them that when harm occurs, repair follows. This becomes their template for relationship security. Number 5, the sleep proximity that changes their world. Where your dog sleeps is destroying their mental health, and the science behind it is startling. Animal behavior researchers at Canisius College studied over 1,000 dog owner pairs and discovered something that contradicts decades of training advice. Dogs who sleep in close proximity to their owners, whether in the same room or on the same bed, show dramatically different brain development compared to dogs who sleep in isolation. The research revealed that dogs sleeping near their humans enter REM sleep 60% faster and spend 40% more time in deep sleep cycles. During REM sleep, their brain consolidates memories, processes emotions, and quite literally grows new neural connections. Dogs forced to sleep alone show chronic sleep fragmentation, waking up 12 to 15 times per night on average, listening for threats, checking on their pack. This fragmented sleep has devastating consequences. The University of Pennsylvania found that dogs with chronic sleep disruption show cognitive decline at half the age of dogs who sleep near humans. Their memory formation suffers, problem-solving abilities decrease, even their immune system weakens from lack of restorative sleep, but it gets darker. Dogs who sleep in isolation produce elevated cortisol throughout the night, a stress hormone that, at chronic levels, literally shrinks the hippocampus. They're spending 8 hours every night in a biochemical state of abandonment. Veterinary behaviorists report that many behavioral issues, aggression, anxiety, destructive behaviors, significantly improve when dogs are simply allowed to sleep near their humans. The proximity doesn't require bed sharing. A dog bed in your room provides the same neurological benefits. Your dog's nervous system needs to know you're there, that the pack is together, that they're not the lone sentinel guarding against invisible threats. In the wild, pack members always sleep in contact or within sight of each other. Isolation during sleep goes against millions of years of evolutionary wiring. Number 6, the daily routine they're desperate for. Your dog needs something from you that has nothing to do with walks or treats. Swedish researchers, using behavioral tracking, discovered that dogs who experience consistent daily routines develop stronger hippocampal connections. The part of their brain that processes time and prediction actually grows, creating neural pathways that didn't exist before. But wait, there's something darker here. Dogs who grow up in chaotic, unpredictable homes show the same neurological patterns as dogs with anxiety disorders. Their brains literally deteriorate from lack of structure. Your dog needs you to be predictable. Studies show dogs can anticipate events up to 30 minutes in advance based on your behavioral patterns, and they use hundreds of environmental cues you don't even realize you're giving. Not rigid schedules, though. That military precision actually increases their stress by creating performance pressure. They need consistent rhythms, the same general flow each day. Feed them around the same time. Walk them at similar intervals. Have a bedtime routine they can count on. Here's what shocked researchers. Dogs know when their routine is about to be disrupted days before it happens. They recognize stress patterns just from subtle changes in your behavior. In households where routines constantly change, dogs develop what behaviorists call learned helplessness. They stop trying to predict anything altogether because they've learned the world is fundamentally unreliable. Number 7, the eye contact that heals or harms. You're looking at your dog wrong, and it's either building an unbreakable bond or creating invisible trauma. A groundbreaking study from Asabu University in Japan discovered that eye contact between dogs and humans triggers the same oxytocin feedback loop that bonds mothers to infants. When you lock eyes with your dog in a soft, loving gaze, both your brains flood with oxytocin. Your dog's oxytocin level increases by 130%. Yours increases by 300%. This creates what researchers call a positive oxytocin loop, where each individual's oxytocin release triggers more release in the other. It's a biochemical love spiral that literally rewires your brains to bond more deeply. But here's the devastating part. The type of eye contact matters more than anyone realized. Hard eye contact, staring, direct prolonged gazes. These trigger the opposite response in dogs. Their amygdala activates, interpreting the stare as a threat. Cortisol spikes, muscles tense. In dog language, a hard stare is a challenge, a prelude to conflict. Dogs forced to endure hard eye contact from their owners develop what's called gaze aversion, where they refuse to make eye contact at all because it's been conditioned as a negative experience. Studies show these dogs have 70% lower oxytocin responses, even to soft eye contact, because the neural pathway has been damaged. The soft gaze is different. Relaxed eyes, a gentle expression, looking at your dog the way you'd look at someone you love. Not staring them down, but sharing a moment. Research shows just 30 seconds of soft eye contact daily creates measurable changes in your dog's attachment security within 2 weeks. Their stress resilience improves. Their confidence increases. They seek you out more for comfort. But dogs who never experience positive eye contact with their humans show attachment patterns similar to neglected children. They develop what behaviorists call social avoidance, where they stop seeking connection because connection has never felt safe. Number 8. What happens in the first 60 seconds you're home? Your dog performs a reunion ritual you probably ruin every single day. In those first 60 seconds after you walk through the door, dogs experience what's called a reunion response. They need to confirm their pack bond is still intact. In the wild, this meant re-establishing hierarchy and connection after separation. University of Arizona researchers documented something remarkable. How you respond in that first minute shapes their attachment security for life. Dogs who receive what they call proper reunion acknowledgement, calm attention, a few spoken words, physical contact at their level, show dramatically different behavior patterns throughout their lives. They display 60% less separation anxiety. They engage in healthier play behaviors. Their confidence in new situations increases measurably. But dogs whose reunions were ignored or met with chaos, they showed increased destructive behavior, heightened anxiety, and something heartbreaking. After an average of just 8 weeks of improper reunions, dogs stopped showing excitement at returns altogether. The neural pathway that drives this bonding behavior actually begins to atrophy through a process called synaptic pruning. Your dog's brain literally stops expecting connection. The greeting doesn't need to be elaborate. You don't even have to make it a big production. A calm hello, getting down to their level for a moment, a brief chest rub, even just acknowledging them before you do anything else. These small gestures activate their attachment system and tell them they still matter most. Number 9. The presence they crave, but rarely receive. When your dog is sick or injured, they need something from you that most people completely misunderstand. Sick dogs don't just need veterinary care. They need what researchers call attended rest. This stems from pack behavior in wild canines. Injured pack members would rest while others stood watch, providing protection without interference. University of Georgia found that dogs who receive appropriate illness support show measurable differences in recovery. Their C-reactive protein levels, a marker of inflammation, drop 30% faster. Pain indicators normalize sooner. Energy returns days earlier. But here's what appropriate actually means. Staying nearby, doing calm activities, working quietly, reading, just existing in their space, not constantly hovering, not forcing interaction, just being their guardian. The presence of their bonded human triggers the release of endorphins, natural pain relievers that strengthen healing. Your quiet company literally accelerates their recovery through a process called social buffering. Some dog owners think leaving sick dogs alone helps them rest. The opposite is true. Isolation during illness triggers abandonment panic, spiking cortisol, and delaying healing by up to 50%. Your dog will likely only face serious illness a handful of times in their life. These moments become core memories embedded in the limbic system, where emotional experiences are stored permanently. Number 10. The permission they wait a lifetime to receive. Dogs know when they're dying. Research from North Carolina State University's veterinary hospital confirms what many suspect. Dogs show distinct behavioral changes weeks before the end. They're waiting for something specific from you. Dogs have a biological drive to remain useful to their pack, an instinct that kept them functioning even when compromised. But in your home, this instinct becomes torture. They want to let go, but feel they can't because they sense your denial. Veterinary grief specialists have documented that dogs whose owners verbally acknowledge what's happening show measurable stress reduction in their final days. Cortisol levels drop. Tail wagging increases despite weakness. They seek more eye contact. They eat better. They seem, for lack of a better word, at peace. They need you to tell them it's okay, that you understand, that they don't have to keep fighting anymore, that they've been the best dog, that they're loved beyond measure, and when they're ready, they can rest. This conversation doesn't mean giving up on treatment. It means creating what specialists call emotional release, a space where death isn't feared, but acknowledged with love. Your dog will only die once. How you handle that transition becomes their final memory, encoded in neural pathways that persist until the very last moment of consciousness. Your dog is writing their story of you right now, in every moment you share together. If this opened your eyes to what your dog truly needs, hit that subscribe button so you never miss how to give them the love they deserve. And drop a comment telling me which act surprised you most, because your dog is counting on you to get this right.